discuss how the concept of critical thinking can be applied to solve real-world problems in different industries. I'm Tan Yi Hong,
I'm Chen Pan Wu.
and we will be the host for this discussion. Now, critical thinking involves questioning, analyzing, interpreting, and evaluating information before making decisions. Some key concepts include questioning, evidence analysis, and decision making. Now, we will invite our industry panelists to show how these concepts are used in practice.
Can you guys please introduce yourself and tell us what industry you guys are from?
So my name is Ziqi and here is Basli, and we are from the Netflix team and we are very honored to be invited to these Edu Talks. Yeah.
Okay, my question is, how can critical thinking concepts be applied to solve real-world problems in your guys' industry?
Okay, well, to put it simply, let's use like an example. So like here in Netflix, one of the key example that kind of encapsulates the idea of how we use critical thinking skills to kind of solve our problems here in Netflix is one of our shows called House of Cards. So like back in 2013, us in Netflix, we faced like a difficult challenge. We were losing our key licensed content from like other major studios that decided to kind of like withdrew their shows from our own platform. So in a sense, if we look at it, if we continued simply like streaming other companies or other major studios content as a third party, our business model or our just basic value proposition in this company will be risk of disappearing. So what we do is we also, so other than that, we also face many other like challenges, because as we've seen from like the previous years, we have seen the uprising of like other streaming platforms like Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, HBO, and that in itself signals like a caution for us here in Netflix to kind of, we need like a new strategic decision for us to stay like relevant and competitive in this market. So major issue in essence is that we're facing with major studios that withdraw their show from our own platform. So we're losing content. Like House of Cards here, we invested in it in 2013, and they had significantly faced some challenges due to like other studios beginning to withdraw that content to establish their own streaming platforms. So as a result, it causes our own business model at Netflix to be threatened, because we at this point are solely relying on third-party content that would significantly cause them to reduce competitive advantage in the entertainment industry. Yeah.
So in order to solve the problem that Basi just mentioned, we had actually applied the reasoning and evidence concept, where we had to use reasoning that logically connect user behavior to potential content choices and combine with evidence that come from the real user data. So for Netflix, we basically store a lot of viewer data such as gender preference, viewing history, user watching behavior, and time consumption as in how long they watch. And instead of following the industry norm, we have reasoned that if many people tend to watch political drama series or binge watch multiple episode series, then producing a high profile original content will actually engage with subscribers more deeply and increase subscription. And we also supported this interference with evidence from usage pattern and viewing history from our very own internal data analytics. So now I'll pass back to Basi to talk about the second concept.
Yeah, so building from whatever Zichi had to say just now, our team also in a sense use like analytical skills, analysis in general, and evaluation to kind of like break down and judge and evaluate the data that we had here in Netflix. So analysis in its sense means that we deconstructing viewing patterns from customers, from consumers into actionable insights. Informations that we use, while evaluating mean in this sense judging which of this information and insights are the most usable and reliable for us here in Netflix to kind of tackle this problem. So for House of Cards, our analysis showed strong engagement in similar genres and loyal viewership clusters. So meaning like for this example, House of Cards is a political drama, so a lot of our viewers love consuming and binge watching political dramas in this genre in particular. So then we evaluated those patterns that were meaningful enough to justify our large investment onto this kind of film. So because of this information and these insights and data were very consistent and significant, we decided to fund the series without waiting for external validation from other studios or pilots. So it's a bit unconventional, but it is a really critical application of analytical evaluation on our part. So our analysis also allowed Netflix here to break down viewing data into specific pattern for example, like genre preferences. We all have our own preferences in like watching any shows and movies. We also consider actors' popularity and also like to what extent people would complete the series or the episode. So evaluation was used in this case to judge whether these patterns were strong enough or reliable enough to justify large investment on our side. So based on this evaluation, we invested approximately like $100 million in the first 2 seasons of one of our shows, House of Cards, even without producing a pilot episode, which was a major shift from like so-called traditional industry practice in this industry. Yeah.
And the last concept is we use communication and open-minded concept, and this concept is very important. So basically, we'll use it when we're having discussion or having meeting, and we'll normally communicate with different teams across data science, creative department, and even production team, where we share insight openly and discuss about viewer preference. And we also believe that having effective communication allow all the teams to understand the evidence and reasoning before making the final decision. And instead of assuming that studio produced content will always perform better, we always remain open to data that suggested original production could perform more successful and become more success, and the result is we will let BuzzFeed see.
Yeah, so like as she said, continuing from what she said, the result is that House of Cards here has become one of our first major original Netflix hit, which helped our streaming platform to redefine itself as a content distributor into a global producer. We're no longer relying on third-party content, we produce our own. So this early success kind of built confidence in our data-driven approach, which has continued into how we personalize recommendations and also plan future series that we're going to produce. So our subscription also grew from 35 million in 2013 to now 325 million in the early of the year 2026. Thank you.
Okay, can you guys introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Zichi.
I'm Jashin, and I'm from Sunway Medical Team.
Okay, my question is, how can critical thinking concepts be applied to solve real-world problems in healthcare? What are the problems? How are the concepts used, and what are the results?
So, for one major problem in the healthcare is that many diseases they have the same and similar symptoms, so which makes the diagnosis difficult. So, for example, some symptoms such as fever, chest pain, and or fatigue, they may have caused by some multiple different conditions. So, without proper critical thinking, healthcare professionals may make incorrect assumptions, which can lead to diagnostic errors and also harm the patients. The Agency for Healthcare Research and Quality have highlighted that diagnostic errors remain a significant challenge in the healthcare, and also they can seriously affect the patient safety. In order to solve this problem, doctors apply critical thinking concepts such as questioning, analysis, and also evidence evaluation. First, they will ask detailed questions about how the patient feels, about their symptoms, medical history, lifestyle, to gather accurate information. So research shows that strong critical thinking skills enhance clinical judgment and reduce the likelihood of incorrect assumptions. Next, doctors will analyze the laboratory results, scans, and also physical examination findings. They evaluate evidence using scientific guidelines and compare different possible diagnoses. Zainal has further explained that critical thinking strengthens clinical reasoning and also improves diagnostic decision making. So through this questioning, analyze and also evidence-based reasoning, healthcare professionals can identify the most accurate diagnosis.
So, building on that, the result of applying critical thinking in healthcare is improved diagnostic accuracy, reduced medical errors, and better patient safety. So, according to the World Health Organization (WHO) 2024, strengthening diagnosis processes and clinical decisional making is essential to improving patient safety and reducing preventable harm worldwide. So when doctors use logical reasoning and evidence-based decision making, they can provide more effective and appropriate treatments. So this aligns with established healthcare quality standards such as the AHRQ quality indicators, which emphasizes accurate diagnosis and quality improvement in healthcare systems. So for example, at Sunway Medical Center, if a patient presents with symptoms such as fever and cough, doctors do not immediately assume the illness. So instead, they apply critical thinking by analyzing test results such as blood tests, X-rays, or PCR tests. They evaluate clinical evidence and logically compare possible conditions such as COVID-19, influenza, or pneumonia. Based on this evidence, doctors make an informed and accurate diagnosis, which ensures the patient receives the required treatment. So this reduces complications, improves recovery, and enhances overall patient safety. In conclusion, critical thinking allows healthcare professionals to make accurate, evidence-based decisions, which leads to better healthcare outcomes.
Okay, thank you. Can you guys please introduce yourself?
My name is Dana and she is Ruby. Today we are presenting as a representative from H&M.
Okay, I want to ask, how can critical thinking concepts be applied to solve real-world problems in healthcare, in your industry? What are the problems? How are the concepts used, and what are the results?
So, one major issue that H&M company faced was effective marketing as known as greenwashing. In 2024 and 2025, H&M faced strong backlash because its environmental scorecard sometimes provide misleading data. Some products were labeled as water saving even though they actually use more water than standard items. This created confused and damaged consumer trust. Second, there was a legal pressure. By 2025, the European Union introduced the Green Claim Directive, which strictly banned terms like eco-friendly or green unless company can provide verified third-party evidence. Because of this regulation, H&M had to remove certain sustainability labels to avoid heavy fines. Third, there was a waste crisis. Even though H&M promote in store recycling bin, investigation revealed that large amount of collect clothing were dumped in Ghana wetland. This created environmental harm and raised serious concern about whether the company recycling system was truly effective. So, how did H&M apply critical thinking? First, they questioned their assumption. They challenged the belief that good marketing equals good business. Leadership realized that if consumers stop trusting green claims, the brand long-term value will decline. Second, they evaluated evidence. Instead of relying on marketing data, they examined scientific life cycle assessment data to measure real environmental impacts, such as water usage and carbon emission. They also explore different perspectives by listening to NGOs who argue that recycling alone cannot solve the problem if overproduction continues.
So, as a result of applying critical thinking, H&M began making structural changes. So first of all, they focus on radical transparency. In 2025, H&M started rolling out digital product passport, which is customers can now scan a QR code on a garment to verify information about its material, production history, and carbon footprint. This replaced ambitious green marketing with clear and traceable facts. So second, the company increases investment in circular innovation. So they invest more in textile recycling technology, including a fiber made entirely from textile waste. And then this supports the idea of a closed-loop system where old clothes are transformed into new material instead of becoming waste. So moving moving on, H&M implement RFID technology in store. The smart tag allows the company to track inventory more accuracy, and then by improving stock accuracy, they reduce unnecessary overproduction and waste. So overall, this case shows that critical thinking is not just about solving problems, it's about questioning assumptions, analyzing risks, using evidence, and beginning open to different viewpoints. And then through this action, H&M is attempting to rebuild trust and more towards more sustainable business practice. Yep, and that's all for us.
Thank you. Can you guys please introduce yourself?
First, we would like to express our deepest gratitude to our moderators. We are truly honored to be here today to discuss such a pivotal moment in our brand's history.
Thank you. I'm Leanne, Head of Regional Operations for Malaysia, and this is Sophia, our Vice President of Brand Communication. We believe that leadership means taking responsibility for making mistakes and using critical thinking to improve.
Okay, so my question is, how can critical thinking concepts be applied to solve real-world problems in your industry? What are the problems? How are the concepts used? And what are the results?
Well, to answer the moderator's question, what is the problem? In Starbucks, we face a problem of severe loss in consumer trust. On a busy afternoon at our KLIA outlet, an incident of disrespectful behavior by a barista went viral.
That moment was captured and spread quickly on social media. People no longer see Starbucks as a friendly and welcoming place. Our brand image was damaged and we had to act immediately.
So, which critical thinking concepts was used? We started with questioning and analysis. We didn't just look at the video, we investigated the root cause and identified the gaps in our training.
We relied on evidence, we reviewed the footage, employees record, and prior incidents report. Using reasoning, we determined that this behavior was a direct conflict with Starbucks' value and customer expectation.
This led to our decision making. We decided to terminate the employee and issue a public apology to the community.
The result was at the problem-solving phase by implementing a nationwide cultural reinforcement program. Instead of only punishing one person, we strengthened the company's culture and retrained staff on respect and cross-cultural communication.
As you can see in our example, we've seen a tangible turnaround. Now travelers with limited English will receive patient personalized assistance at our KLIA outlet, a direct contrast to our previous viral incident.
This change from negative behavior to proactive hospitality shows that our solution has worked. It demonstrates the successful rollout of our inclusive service standards, and customer sentiment at the airport has begun to stabilize. That's all from us. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thanks to all our panelists here for their insights. Now to conclude basically everything here, our group has shown that critical thinking has not only helped us to analyze information but also helped us to think logically and has also taught us how to make better decisions. Now through various examples of many industries that is given by our panelists here, including Netflix, Sunway Medical Center, Starbucks, and also H&M. Now we can see how critical thinking is applied to solve many real-world problems in many different industries. Now these examples have shown us how to improve our performance, reduce risk, and also achieve a better outcome. Now therefore we think that critical thinking is a must and an essential skill for many of our academic success, our future careers, and also our daily lives. Thank you so much.